Hi, this is David Clare again. This video fulfills my Week 6 assignment in Berklee's Introduction to Music Production class on Coursera. Week 6 pertained almost entirely to music synthesis and to synthesizers. This was an area that I have not had a lot of exposure to in the past, at least not, educated exposure. I've messed around with and experimented with certain presets, but I never really had any idea what I was doing. So this week has really inspired me. I've learned a lot, and I plan and hope to learn more especially about how synthesis works. I'm going to discuss the 5 basic modules that are present on any synthesizer, whether that's analog or VST or soft synth or whatever. You're going to have an oscillator, you're going to have a filter, an amplifier, an envelope, and an LFO. So the most important part of the initial propagation of the sound is the oscillator, which is just the shape of the wave. Different wave forms and wave shapes are going to have different timbres and different energies at specific frequencies. So you can have a triangular wave, or a sawtooth wave, triangular waves, a sine wave, square waves. There's different shapes of all these waves, and they all sound different. Beyond that, the second part, the filter, generally a filter is going to be a pass. It's going to allow either a notch, a specific frequency to pass through, and attenuate other frequencies around it. And especially in synthesizers, the high frequency sounds are almost unearthly because there's so much energy, because that waveform is so pure. It doesn't even sound like a natural sound that you would ever hear. So most commonly, synthesizers will have a low-pass filter that kind of cuts out a lot of that sound in the higher end. But there's also, notch filters and ones that you can adjust to kind of exaggerate or more accent-specific sounds within the shape of the oscillator that you're using. The third aspect is the amplifier, which basically controls the volume of the synthesizer, or the amplitude, and within the amplifier you're going to have the filter, and there's 4 aspects to the filter that we discussed: the attack, the decay, the sustain, and the release. The attack is the amount of time that it takes for the waveform to reach its full amount of amplitude according to the amplifier, and then the decay is the amount of time that it takes for it to sort of decrease in amplitude and level off to more of a steady state, which is the sustain amount. And then obviously after the MIDI keyboard receives its off message, there's an amount of time that it takes for the sound to decay and evaporate, and that would be the decay time. So with these 4 parameters, you can basically shape the amount, the time it takes for the sound to come in and level off, and to maintain a volume, and then of course to decay. And then finally, the 5th aspect that's so important is the low frequency oscillator, which pertains just to the rhythmic aspect of a sound and the rhythmic aspect of a synthesizer. When a synthesizer has a sense of vibrato or a tremolo on it, like that kind of shake to it, that is controlled by the low frequency oscillator, which again is going to be a waveform, and can be related to frequency. It can be related to the rhythm of a song, depending on what tempo and BPM you're at. So another aspect of synthesizers that we can control. So that was my overview of the 5 modules of synthesizers. I had an enjoyable time in this class. I certainly learned a lot, and I hope to learn more. So it was good to see everyone and good to talk to everyone, and we'll see you around in the future. Take care.